Alright, well, good morning everybody. So it's early, we're on the road, and we've got the trailer hooked back up there behind us because you may have heard me mention it in another video. I've got a viewer and a friend that has offered me some free IBC totes, and I'm so thankful for that. So you've got you a load of firewood coming. I'm gonna hook you up for giving me those free totes. So we're on the way to pick them up. We're gonna modify them like we've seen so many other YouTube channels do, and I'm gonna try them out for firewood storage. I'm really excited about this. I'll explain the reasons why later. I do have a couple concerns too, but the only way to know is to try it. So let's get these things picked up. I've done watched so many other firewood channels do this. I feel like I already know exactly what to do. But all you got to do is take these top two bars off. It takes a T30 star bit, I found out. And then you can kind of flip it over, pull the jug right out. I'm going to hang on to these top bars. I might can use them for something else. Now these are already empty. You could probably hear something sloshing around. The tops have been left off of them for a while, so it looks like they just have some rainwater and a little bit of algae in the bottom. Now a very common question I see getting asked online all of the time is, what do you do with the plastic tote? Now, the stickers are going on some of these, so I can't tell exactly what was in it before. So anything food grade, drinking water, I will not use these for at all. And I really don't know just yet. You can actually go around and cut the top off, sit it on top of your firewood to keep the rain or snow out if you're up north. I may do that, I may not, because I'm planning on building a rack over and a roof over where I'm going to store these at. Got a lot of leftover materials from the barn that got tornado damage. So I kind of want to do something that looks a little nicer, especially being that I have a little bit of OCD. The other option is, again, if you want to not just use one side, you can cut it diagonally, corner to corner, and kind of make a, a peak style roof that can go over the top. And looking at it, I think it may fit completely over the top of the metal if you do it that way even better. So there's lots of options there. You can make container bed gardens again if it's safe. I don't really know what's been in these. A lot of options. I'm gonna hang on to them for a little bit, but if I start getting a lot more of these down the road, I mean, let's face it, we may just have to carry some of this plastic to the landfill. But again, not knowing what's in there, I don't even know if that's an option. I'll have to look around. I can wash and rinse these out and treat them, but I still don't know the rules and all that. So until I get all that figured out, I'm just gonna store these down in the woods somewhere, and I may find a use for them later. All right, so the last thing to do is actually cut an opening, but leave some structural integrity and support so you can kind of get in there and stack your firewood. I thought about leaving more support than I see most people do, but it may be a bit aggravating. Most people cut from the inside of this bar down and leave a couple runs up. I'm gonna try that with my first few. And I see a lot of people, for some reason, cutting with cutoff wheels. I'm gonna try a Sawzall with a metal cutting blade. Just seems like it throws less sparks, less chance of these collapsing and pinching the cutoff wheel blade. But if Sawzall doesn't work, then I'll move over to the metal cutoff wheel. That was too easy. That's absolutely the way to do it with a Sawzall. All right, now all that's left to do is just kind of sand over these corners. They got some nice sharp burrs on them, and then this thing's ready for firewood. All right, one thing that I'm going to do that I don't see anybody on YouTube doing, I'm kind of concerned. These that I just cut are wide open now. They're going to fill up with rainwater, and they are going to rust out. Looking down here, I don't see any holes anywhere in these tubes, and they're crimped really tight. So like I said, they're just going to fill up, rust out on me. These may even catch some rainwater too, but not a whole lot I can really do about that other than maybe drill a couple drain holes in the bottom. But what I'm going to do is come down here at the very bottom, drill a couple quick drain holes. Yeah, it takes a little extra time, but I think it's going to make these last quite a bit longer. All right, well, I got everything unloaded. While we're right here real quick, some of y'all are new to the channel, so this is what's left of a pole barn that got blown down by a tornado last March. And I've got some really good tin in there, although it has holes in it, but it's 24-inch on center. And I've got me a stack of kind of not so good tin. I used up almost all the 2x6s out of that barn to build the tornado shelter. Also, I got a bunch of 8x8 cribbing. These are posts that were cut off of the new pole barn that we built. And I've got some telephone poles over there as well. And the reason I talked about all that is I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do over here for a shelter to cover these IBC totes. So here's the current wood rack. I think this rack right here is pretty much always going to be my personal use wood rack. It holds about, I'm guessing, 2.5, maybe 3 cords of wood, doing some rough figures. And I think that's what Tiffany and I will use to burn every single year. I'm trying to make the best use of my room down here. So let's take a look at this. So I think my plans moving forward are going to be to kind of have the totes stacked back there like that. I think I'm going to come in, maybe try to level a little bit of the dirt. Of course, that's a pretty decent slope right here. That'd be a lot of dirt work. I don't know if it's worth it. But that brush that's behind it, push it back even further and make it to where I can start stacking totes there. And I might even do a roof over, or I may not. I don't know. I may wind up just cutting the plastic tops off and letting that be good enough. Time will tell. I could always stack them several rows deep and get several cords of wood there. What everybody's telling me online is these totes will hold about a face cord or 1/3 of a cord of wood. So if that's the case, the 6 that I have here right now will hold 2 cords of wood. All right, so obviously if I'm going to sell some firewood, I need more than a couple cords to sell and a couple, 2-3 cords for myself. Need a lot more firewood than that. So I'm planning on getting more IBC totes if these work out well, and I think they're going to. I'm not going to pass up any deal that I see. And I've got to kind of figure out what I'm going to do here. It's starting to turn into my junkyard down here. I ain't crazy about it, but I think I can move all these tanks, better organize stuff. And I have lots of different options for more rooms. I can make it to where I can run totes as far as the eye can see, that direction. Or, I mean, heck, if this were to grow into something special, I could even clear out a lot of these pines, which I don't want to do, but I could open me up a tremendous amount of room here. As far as that direction goes, I don't think I'm going to store anything down there because I'm probably going to continually be offloading logs and trees down there, bucking them up. And I like the idea of being able to just come grab me a tote, go down there where everything's bucked up, split, and then bring it right back, get it out of the way. I could stick a few more down there. However, because of this way this wood rack is, I can't really pull in and do more than 1 or 2 more right there. When I originally built this wood rack, there was a whole bunch of trees right here, oak limbs, everything. That's why it's at this odd angle. I didn't realize in the future I was going to clear all this out, but that's what I wound up doing. But I think maybe the best option would be to continue to just run uphill that way. I could wind up with more cords of wood out here than I'll probably ever truly get into. Do y'all see any concerns with putting this under limbs? I know it won't be getting direct sunlight, and I'm not getting as much wind back here, so dry time is going to be longer. But that's okay. I eventually plan to try to get to where my firewood is 2 years seasoned before I sell it, although, depending on demand, 1 year may be all that I can get. And believe it or not, actually, look at the trees. I mean, there's a lot of wind and airflow down here, and this firewood's never really had a problem drying, so I think I'll be okay. Sunlight is going to get blocked back here, no doubt. But I really don't want to be cutting firewood up there in the yard or anywhere that you can see it, so I like it hidden down here. Well, all right, we just had a cold front come through yesterday. Everything's still pretty wet. It's windy and cold today. Not a good day for me to get back on the storm shelter, because what I really need to be doing next is painting that before I move on to a few more things. So this is not good painting weather, it's still damp and cold. So I think what I'm going to do, next episode that you should be seeing, I'm going to bring the log splitter down here while I got a few hours left this afternoon and work on that big pile of live oak over there. I'm itching to go ahead and get that split, start filling some racks up, so that can be the final part in that little series of me kind of calculating numbers and figuring out what I can expect for my time per hour, since I've been keeping up with everything up to this point. Fuel, delivery, time, loading, unloading, bucking, and then now I've got to add up my time splitting. Then I'm going to share those numbers with you and kind of let you know where that's at. Maybe you're interested in doing a little firewood hobby where you're at. and I'll talk about my future plans, projections, and what I think I can get for it, selling it a different kind of way than I see most people selling it for around here. So thank you so much for watching. Now we've got the IBC totes ready. Once I split this pile back here behind me, I'll start on this pile right here, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and start putting it in the IBC tote since that's premium stuff, cherry and oak, and we'll kind of start a new little series there, seeing exactly how much we can fit in it and starting this new journey on figuring out if this is the route I'm going to go. And it's looking like I am. I love my rack. I get questions about it all the time. I'm happy that I'm always going to have it, but these IBC totes are pretty convenient. It's going to be hard to beat, especially for firewood that I'm going to sell. So a lot more to come on the channel. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.